I want to make one last video here, and I do want to apologize to everyone for all the rambling, nonsensical videos I've been making the last couple of days. Like I say, I don't have any editing equipment here, so I can't get anything put together. I don't have a computer, so I can't, jot down my thoughts. So I know you're all having to be subjected to these rambling videos, although it's easier for me because I don't have to edit them, so this is a lot easier. I sit here and ramble for a few minutes and then upload it. But it couldn't be easier on you, because you guys sit there and go what is he talking about? And then I go off topic, and I have to ramble back, so, or you have to listen to me say the same thing 3 or 4 times. So I know it could be easier on you guys, but it is easier on me. But I just did want to say one more thing. I'm sure everyone here has heard about the deaths in Nice, France right now, or Nice, France, as some people would say, where I'm from anyway. And it's a tragedy. There's a lot of people dead, a lot. Almost as many dead as dead and wounded in almost every terrorist attack here. Even the nightclub one not too long ago in Orlando. So it is a massive loss of life. Unfortunately for the politicians in this country, it was done with a truck and not a gun, and you can see they're straining to somehow try to make this fit their agenda. I don't know what they're going to do next. Are they going to start talking about how guns are the problem, or, trucks are the problem? No, I don't think they're going to do that. What I do fear they're going to do is they're going to start cracking down on civil liberties. They're going to say, we can't group together in big groups anymore because that's too big a target for terrorists, so we're going to crack down on that. They're going to crack down on our right to assemble. They're already talking about cracking down on other freedoms. You had Newt Gingrich the other night saying anyone that visits a terrorist website should be charged with a felony and found guilty and put away. That seems like that's a restriction of religion and of free speech, being able to go where you want and say what you want. So they're already using this to crack down on civil liberties. I just think they're going to use this as a means to get closer and closer to the police state that they really want. That's why they've been militarizing police for the last couple of decades, is because they want this police state. And this just gives them more ammunition to get there. Unfortunately, they can't demonize their favorite target, which is guns, because they want to disarm us first. It's because they can't crack down on our other rights until they get rid of our Second Amendment right, or else they're in risk of us fighting back. So I wanted to say, though, about that, and saying that it was a truck that was the issue and not a gun here. It's not a problem with trucks or guns, and I hope this points it out to a lot of people. This is a problem with society. This is a problem with radical religious ideas. This is a problem with prejudices. This is a problem with hatred, etc. It's not a problem of tools. This shows that the deadliest terrorist attack we've seen in a long time was done with nothing more than a refrigerator truck. If someone wants to harm people, they're going to find a way to harm people. And as I've said previously in other things, and there's ants on me, in other videos, that the only way you can really stop a crime is by having a victim that isn't willing to be a victim and that can fight back. And unfortunately, everything they're doing is contrary to that. So they're really disarming us and making us victims. They're trying to create victims. They have victims-only zones that they like to call no-gun zones or gun-free zones. And they want to take away every other right we have to try to fight back and not be victims. So it's very clear they want a police state. They want us to all be potential victims because they're the victimizers in a lot of cases, and they don't want us to be able to fight back. So I'm hoping that people will be able to see, well, this was a truck, this wasn't a gun, maybe tools aren't the problem. And I know a lot of people have been saying, well, Obama won't say Islamic terrorism. Yeah, and you're right, he won't. And then they've kind of tried to go on the defensive on that, or the offensive on that, and say, well, it doesn't matter what we call it as long as we're dealing with the problem. It does matter what you call it. Because until you acknowledge what the actual threat is, you can't actually try to stop the threat. It's like if we live in a town and a lot of hookers are being beaten to death with axe handles. If we just go around saying, we got an axe handle problem, well, that's not really going to solve the problem at all. Especially if we know, well, it's the Miller brothers that are doing it. It's Tom and Jerry that are doing all the murdering of hookers with axe handles. If you just go, well, we've got an axe handle problem because we got a lot of hookers getting killed with axe handles, you're going to go around locking up axe handles, or, make it illegal for people to own axe handles, or register all the axe handles that people do have. So if a hooker does get beaten to death with one, you'll know who did it. But you already know who did it. Tom and Jerry are doing it. So if you just say it's an axe handle problem, you're not addressing the real issue. If you say, hey, we got a Tom and Jerry problem, and the fact that they like to go around beating hookers to death with axe handles, that's totally different. You've actually stated what the problem is, so people can, stop putting serial numbers on their axe handles or registering them with their sheriff's department. They can go, wait, you mean it's a Tom and Jerry problem? Well, let's just go kick their asses and put them in jail. Well, let's deal with the real problem. But this administration doesn't want to do that. They just want to say we have an axe handle problem. So until they start saying what the actual problem is, and that's the problem that we have this radical Islamic notion running through a lot of people's heads, and we've got this religion that's preying on a lot of weak people. And I'm not saying all people that are Muslim are horrible people. people, because a lot of people that are Muslim have decided to ignore tenets of their faith, just like Christians have decided to ignore certain tenets of their faith. So we don't see Christians now stoning people for working on Sunday or wearing polyester cotton blends. They have evolved with the times. And there are some Islamic people, some sects of Islam that want to evolve too, but the majority of it hasn't, and especially not the ones that run the countries that are sponsoring this type of terrorism. So we have to start addressing the real issue. This thing of the people that tragically lost their life in Nice, France is a sign that it's not the problem with any tool. Monsters will always find a way to be monsters. We just have to find a way to identify those monsters and actually start taking them out of society and demonizing them. And we have to find a way to fight back against monsters. We have to make sure that every single person out there has the ability to fight back against these monsters, because we're never going to get rid of monsters, and we're never going to get rid of their desire to kill, and we're never going to take away everything they can kill with. But now, hopefully, we can recognize, and I know the administration we have now is going to fight this tooth and nail, but maybe we can start recognizing that the tools aren't the problem, it's mindset that's the problem. It's actually people that are the problem, and start to do something about it. Let's ruin my fucking dramatic ending there because I can't edit. But I think you got my point.